Oh, hello. Welcome to the Daily Icon with Adam Ming. Today I'm going to be drawing a cucumber. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about being successful. And it's really about reading, how do I say this? So, when you read a book and someone's writing about someone else, I don't really see the value in things like that. I think if we live in an age where you can actually talk to successful people. And if you're going to learn how to do something, being an illustrator, for example, it makes sense to talk to the people who are successful at doing that. So rather than speaking to someone with 200,000 followers on Instagram who's struggling to pay rent, why not speak to someone who's doing it for a living for many years in a row already? And it's actually surprisingly easy to talk to people in this days and age thanks to the internet. I recently got to talk to Owen Davey, one of my illustration heroes, and I wrote about it on my blog. But one of the things that we talked about over the 30 minutes conversation that we had was drawing cucumbers. I was asking him what to put in a portfolio, and he said, you want to be able to put something as mundane and basic as a cucumber in there, show people that you can draw it in a way that's interesting and unique to your style. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to draw a cucumber, and you get to watch. And I'll think out loud as I do it. I hope you enjoy. Also, I'm going to turn off my face so there's more space to work with. And here we go. I also wanted to show you the finished piece I did yesterday. Yesterday I started drawing a runner on live stream, and this is what it looked like in the end. Okay. Also, if you want to read about the interview that I did with Owen Davey, you can find it on my blog. If you look at my profile, there's a link to all my links, and that's where you can find that. I'm sorry that you're looking at an empty screen. I'll just do a scribble so there's something for you to see. Okay, so drawing cucumbers. It's always about finding an interesting shape. I think that's important. And as I think about drawing a cucumber, I'm thinking, what are the things that might be interesting about a cucumber? The shape obviously is one. It's got straight angular lines and curves. It also has a bend sometimes. So I'm going to try and capture that bend. Some curves and a straight line. I know this should be a couple of straight lines. I'm not sure. I'll make it straight at one side and bend at one side. I think that will give it a good variety. Okay, so I'm liking this shape. I'll probably do the cucumber in this shape. Yeah, it's got a quirkiness to it, a hand-drawnness to it. While I think about that a little bit more, I'm going to write the word cucumber. There's something about writing that's so powerful. Almost magical. And this is really more lettering than writing. And the trick about lettering is you're drawing the letters. I can't really talk and write at the same time. Cucumber. So as I was saying, you're drawing the letters. And it's more important to make them nice and clear and legible than adding any particular flair to it. I think the flair comes naturally from your drawing style. So just try and make it clear. Okay, so I've got the shapes of the cucumber. Other things that make the cucumber interesting are textures. So I'm going to spend more time today trying to figure that out. And when I say more time, I mean like maybe the next 9 minutes or so. Okay. There's also color. So cucumber has a dark color, a darker green. So let's try and find a color that would suit that. Let's use this. I have a brush in mind that might work for this. I'm looking for that now. These brushes have such long names, it's hard to find them. Am I already using the brush? Huh, it doesn't really look the same. Maybe it is. Okay, so I'm trying to get some texture down in this dark green color. And then there's also normally a lighter green, less yellow, more white. So I'll try and find that color. Eventually I'll narrow these brushes down to my favorites. Now I'm still experimenting, trying to find the right one. Okay. I'm going to use the halftone to blend these colors. It's not exactly blending, but maybe you could call it that. Blend the two sides of the colors. I suppose you're wondering what am I doing? Looks like I'm just scribbling. In a way I am. I'm actually painting a texture of a cucumber, which I'll later stick into the shape that I've made. So I've kind of deconstructed 2 steps of drawing. One being designing the shape, drawing the shape, and the other one being drawing the texture. I see them as separate things. And it's kind of fun to do them separately and combine them later and see what kind of cool effects you get. Okay, normally on a cucumber you would also get a little bit of a shine because of that roundness. So I'm drawing that here. Alright, so now I'm going to create a flat layer in orange, maybe yellow. I'll use a bright yellow. And if you're tempted to think this is a lesson, this is not. This is me trying to figure out how to draw a cucumber in an interesting way. I'm basically teaching myself my style. Okay, so that's the shape we're going to use. Now to put the texture onto the shape. Oh no. So moving my texture over the shape I just made. I'm trying to think where I want the highlight to be as the main thing. So I think I'm going to have to flip the texture around. And the highlight's going to be somewhere here. And I think that works. Okay, so the next thing to do is to clip. What I'm trying to do is to create a clipping mask. I can't seem to find my layers panel. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to clip this to the layer below, and there you see it. I'll hide my original sketch. And that's my cucumber. So what I've done is basically give myself a problem to solve. Now I'm trying to turn this shape and texture into a final cucumber. I'm not sure how successful I'll be, but let's try. So I'm going to try and give it some dimensionality first. For that, I'm going to look for a glaze brush. So I'm just going to layer on some darker color. I'll start with black. Make the brush really big. Okay, so I'm just trying to add the darker bit for the cucumber. And a little bit on the other side. Just to give it the dimensions. I mentioned before that I scribble outside the lines, and I think this gives the image a lot of energy. People tend to say that my drawings have a lot of energy, and I think that's how they get in there, as opposed to stopping short of the line and trying to be too controlled. So I'll clip that in. That's looking a bit better. Now I'm going to try and adjust the shape. I do that with the eraser. And first thing I'm going to try to do is to make this, I mentioned I wanted a hard straight line. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. So I erase the bits that are not a hard straight line. And I'll do the same on the other side. So it's like a bend in the cucumber. Okay, so I've got my hard line. Now I need to round this edge so it makes sense. Around the other side. I'm looking for a brush. I'm going to go over the texture again. Add a bit more texture and grit. Does that look like a cucumber? I think cucumbers have like lines across them. So I'm going to try and capture that if I can. I have a reference on another screen and it's the first time I'm looking at it. These are the lines of a cucumber. And they're typically darker on one side and brighter on the other, so I think that it would be darker on this side. You tend to have spots in there. Represent the spots. Do these lines again. So with a minute to go, I think I'm almost done. As usual, I will work on it and do some fine-tuning before it's done. But I think we got most way there. I think the last thing I'll do is just add some shadow underneath. To ground it. I'll post a finished piece on Instagram, and if you have any questions, you can just ask it there. So thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.